Hello, my name is Chris Cogburn, and I'm going to present on how art intertwines with science, environment, and technology. I've chosen further on how industry and technology affects the environment as shown through art. Art changed phases through time during the industry phase of this country and the rest of the world. During the Industrial Revolution, it started in the late 18th century and spanned all the 19th and part of the 20th century. Art was focused more on industrial progress, automation of work progresses. They would glorify the expansion of industry and technology. It would illustrate some environmental impact, but at the time it probably wasn't interpreted as such. And this, gained that type of interpretation later. I'll demonstrate in a couple of pieces. This piece by George Ennis, it's called Lackawanna Valley. It shows, in the background, some like new industrial constructions like a roundhouse, a mill, and some other manufacturing type things, along with the, innovative railroad. You can see it coming around and, going up here into a recently, clear-cut forest, which the wood was probably, taken back and used for industrial progress. And he's got like a lone tree sitting here. So my interpretation, along with probably others, would show that industry is driving environmental change. George Ennis, the artist from the previous painting, he was born in New York City in 1825, worked his life in New England, was influenced by the Barbizon and Hudson River schools, then followed a artist named Emanuel Swedenborg. And, that belief was that man, nature, and divinity were all in harmony. And this influence went into his artwork. He did landscape art, and his artwork was referred to as civilized landscapes. This next piece, it's also later Industrial Revolution, but it kind of gave a contrast of you have a river here, the Ohio River. You got progress on one side, with all the smoke and power of industry. You got like a power plant, manufacturing plant, and a new steamboat. Whereas on the other side of the river, you have purity, innocence, simplicity. You got a canoe, you got nude swimming people, people dressed in white. So contrast in like what industry does and what it's coming from. The artist on this one was Thomas Anschutz. He was born in Kentucky and grew up in West Virginia along the Ohio River, maybe 90 miles downstream from Pittsburgh. His settings, he was set in like the coal and steel industry, so therefore a lot of his paintings and works were too. He studied under Thomas Eakins in Pennsylvania, who they both later worked at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. Moving on to the present, some artwork in the present depicts, environmental crises, as a consequence of, industry and technology pushing their limits. I've picked a piece that you'll see in a minute that shows like a cause and effect, of pushing things to the limits, more specifically for resources. This piece called Deepwater Horizon is made by Alan Montgomery. It's fairly abstract, but you can see how the effects of a defunct offshore oil rig, just spilled and polluted into the Gulf of Mexico. Damaged trees, messed up a bird, and you can interpret so many things from what may have happened here. About Alan Montgomery, he's from Belfast, Northern Ireland. He's an art professor at Dakota State University. And he likes to focus on environmental concerns and social political issues. Uses mixed media and lots of abstraction. Okay, art with future environmental situations. I chose an artist that does like sculptural work. And you'll see in her work and some descriptions I have that she likes to play like on more of a dystopian future and how to solve that and live with it. Her name's Mary Mattingly, and this is her structural work called Triple Island. And what this is, it's kind of a flotilla that she's constructed out of, like empty plastic drums, with a platform built around them to make them float. And then each part has like sleeping quarters, living quarters. One of them has a greenhouse, to grow stuff. Another one had like a chicken coop. So she could attach these things and then float around when all the water rises, say in a flood or rising sea level situation. About Mary Mattingly, she lives and works in Brooklyn, New York. Uses media such as photography, performance, architecture, and sculpture. And then her art represents like warning and solutions to environmental concerns and aftermaths. In summary, this research was about different types of artwork and their meanings captured through time. The past relishes on industrial and technological advance with potential impact on environment. Present shows cause and effect, implications of industry and technology on the environment. And the future shows solutions to the environmental situations and disasters. I hope this was informative and interesting. If anybody has any questions, they can reply to my blog. Thank you.